The college football experience, week 12 preview and picks for the weekday games episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is offering new users $1,000 risk-free bet. Sign up today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today, people. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time has last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Use that promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. And in honor of Veterans Day, everything in the merch store is 10% off with the promo code VETS. That's VETS. All proceeds from this sale will be donated to Mission 22, a nonprofit serving those who have served.
This is Jerry Glanville, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Early on a Monday morning. Yes. Emergency episode, sort of. I mean, we had some coach firings, but also, NC Nick is going to be en route to Chicago to catch Duke, Michigan State, as well as Kansas, Kentucky.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome that me being a Duke fan, obviously that's the main reason I went, but just throw in Kentucky, Kansas at the same time. It's gonna be a great night for basketball Tuesday night.
Yes. And that's why you should be subscribed to the college basketball experience. And the question is also, I think the chat wants to know if you're going to have some of that deep dish Chicago pizza.
I've done the deep dish. It's good. A little touristy, I might try to kind of stay off the radar a little bit more this time. It's been a little while since I've been to Chicago. I'm sure there's some new places to check out.
Can I say, wait, what nights are you there?
Monday night, Tuesday night.
You should check out, I like the Green Mill. Good place for cocktail. It's a historic place. Al Capone used to go there.
Do you know what part of town it's in?
North Shore. I don't know if sounds like a Hawaii.
I think that's an area up there. Okay. It's possible. We'll see. I mean, I probably want to stay within walking distance. We're in like the River East side of town.
Okay.
River North. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll
Go
What's it called
check
again?
out
The Green Room.
I'm going to text you a bunch of shit. There's also a classic steakhouse I like there too. Okay. Folks, if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, that's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
We got weekday college football merging with college basketball. Shout out to the chat.
Chat's rocking.
Yeah. Early morning pod. Yes. Shout out to Scott G. Appreciate you. All right. I am joined by my co-host, the DFS god himself. Look, normally on this episode, we do a DFS portion of this, for the Tuesday and Wednesday MACtion games. The only problem here, they're not out, and NC Nick will be having beverages enjoying that Chicago nightlife like he's fucking McMahon in '85.
I will not be recording a podcast tonight. I don't think you guys would want to hear it if I was. So unfortunately, no DFS section this week, but we'll be back Thursday to outline the weekend as far as the big DFS slates.
We'll hit you for Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night.
There you go.
Or Saturday day and Saturday night DFS on Thursday. We still invite you to come play with us. We are still going to play DFS because we fucking love it. Yeah. Anyway, give it up for the rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, tobacco road living, a free lot giving, former Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
There we go. Happy Monday morning, man.
I got your song for you.
They never quite made it to the Super Bowl, though, did they?
Would have. Injuries are a motherfucker. All right, for Bo Jackson and Bosworth, you know.
But if we're talking college football, this is gonna be a fantastic week. Because not only do I get the Champions Classic basketball on Tuesday night, but I'll be at App State JMU, where College Game Day is going to be on Saturday. So that Bosworth music is just starting the week right. It should be a great week.
Yeah, exactly, man. You can't go wrong with the Boz. And should be a fantastic week. Let's start things off on Tuesday. Where? Akron.
Well, are we just jumping right into games we don't want to talk about?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Let's tout first. Let's look at last week, the games we picked on this Monday podcast where we picked the morning games. I went 5-1 ATS in MAC play. You went 4-2, I want to say.
I believe so. Yeah,
so there was 6 MAC games last week. Week before that, there was 4. The week before that, I went 3-1. So I'm 8-2 in MAC play so far. What you got on that?
Well, MAC special. I thought you were a Sunbelt specialist.
I guess I've switched.
Yeah. I mean, look, I feel like I've been pretty fire on the weekday slates. I've been pretty fire in general, like college basketball. We're a week in. I've had 1 losing day.
Woo, not bad.
Boom. Folks, subscribe to both college football experience. We hit on East Carolina money line. How about the bottom later today at around noon? We're going to have CJ Sullivan from the Bottom Line Bombs podcast talk about our Bombs Down Under episode. CJ Sullivan and myself. Now I did push back on his play of Hawaii to beat Air Force on the money line, but he hit on that. But we both took East Carolina money line and Arizona State money line against UCLA. Those came to fruition. So anyway, check that out. Noon. We'll be back. We have just a busy ass day. I go from this to the Sports Gambling Podcast College Basketball Show to the Bottom Line or the Bombs Down Under, followed by the Bottom Line Bombs, which is part of the C Block,
Beautiful.
And then college football content for the rest of the night.
Boom. But also, if you're talking about big money line dogs, I had one hit Thursday night, Southern Miss, with their upset of the Raging Cajuns in overtime.
I did hit that as well, buddy. I hit that as well. And you know, they play Mississippi State, who just fired their head coach this week. Any chance for a little upset in Starkville?
I mean, if you'd asked me this 3 weeks ago when Southern Miss was 1-7, I would say probably not, but they turned a corner. It was late in the season to turn a corner and they can still hit their season win total of 5. We can still push that. But if so, we're going to need that upset. It can happen. Look, Southern Miss has upset. They have a long storied program in Hattiesburg, and they can jump up and bite some of these SEC schools. So, hey, man, why not?
This is the best part about when they start firing people, because teams quit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So the news. Let's talk about this for a second here. Everyone's fired apparently. You got. I mean, this is early, man. This is November 12th where this news happens. Where Zach Arnett fired. I know some people were saying this is unfair. He's replacing a legend. He changed the offensive system after 1 year. They should have gave him more time. Now, I think Mississippi State's in the right here.
Yeah, because let's face it, what did he do to deserve the job? It's not like, he was just, he did a good job as DC, but he was pretty much just given the job. if it was like a real coaching search, a real hire, he probably wouldn't have got it from the get-go. So he was basically an interim head coach, and you better impress if you're an interim head coach, and he didn't this year. I mean, they were a bad team.
And I think when you add in on top of that, Texas and Oklahoma are coming into your conference. You need to get this thing right now because you're going to end up being Vanderbilt if not. You know what I mean? Which I mean, folks that haven't followed college football that long, that's what they used to be. They were pretty much Vanderbilt of the SEC West before really Dan Mullen and then into Mike Leach.
Minus like the really good academics and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's so wait. I mean, this is interesting because you now have a situation where you have Jimbo Fisher. They paid him. This is one of the most amazing things ever. You know, he made over $3 million or just about $2.7 million a game.
It's wild. And
his contract is so great. If he gets hired elsewhere, it doesn't interfere with the money he's making from A&M. So he's getting paid $70 million buyout, 70 and change, I think, to not coach.
Did you see that graphic someone on Twitter posted about the largest payouts of all time in college football? There was like 3 people listed. It was all between like 10 million, 50 million. And then Jimbo is at like 70 million. It was like so much larger than the previous largest payout ever was. Insane.
And look, me and Patty C were talking about things a couple days Saturday. I said they're going to fire him on Saturday. I didn't have any inside Iggy, but I said they're going to fire him. And I go, you know why, Pat? Is because Texas is coming in with Arch Manning. Yep. And they might make the playoffs this year, and they're going to have all the buzz next year, and that's going to hurt the egos of those A&M donors. So they're going to fire him. They're going to find that money to fire him.
The timing was funny. I mean, they just put up 51 on Mississippi State. They won 51-10. You're like, oh man, you know. The week before that, they lost only by 3 at Ole Miss. I thought the team was playing better, but ultimately, I think we can agree that Jimbo Fisher is just not that good of a head coach, and they probably did need a change.
Yeah, I think they did. And so you got Mississippi State open. You got Texas A&M open. Andy Avalos also covered the 26 and won by 28 against New Mexico.
Again, strange timing.
Yeah.
Again, I don't mind the move. I think he hasn't done well there. I mean, this is only his second year though, right? Or third?
Third, I think.
Third. Okay, man. Look, Boise's used to double-digit win total season, so ultimately that's probably a good move too. Again, just kind of strange timing after a big offensive output.
Yeah, and then Brady Hoke announced he's retiring. I kind of think they were like, you either get fired or you retire.
Yes, push out the door.
I mean, this is where I think this is probably the earliest ever. So when you add Northwestern and Michigan State on top of that, you have like 6 openings on November 12th. That's incredible. Now we got to talk about this for a second. A&M's never won, but they always have fuck you money, right? They've never won.
Nope.
And in my opinion, they blew their best chance to really steal the state of Texas. Because they had 12, 13 years there.
Yeah.
Alone in the SEC. And you couldn't get it done. And now look, you may go out and hire.
To their point, I mean, like, it's not easy to get it done in the SEC. There's some other pretty good teams around them.
Still, but that was your gap because now Texas and Oklahoma are coming. They recruit the same ground that you recruit.
Sure.
And now to me, even if you do get the best hire you can get, even if you bring in Urban Meyer, which I think would be the best possible coach you could bring in, right?
I'd love it if they did. Do you think that's realistic?
I mean, I don't know if I haven't seen him mentioned as one of their top candidates, but I think they're fools if they don't. Texas A&M is really committed to winning. We've seen this with the way they spend. I think I saw something that said they donate anywhere between $60 and $80 million a year for their athletic department from donors.
Crazy.
That's insane, right?
I just wonder if he's like the new Bill Cowher, where like whenever there's an opening, like his name gets thrown out. Or the new Brad Stevens, if you want to talk college basketball. Like, there's some guys that they keep on throwing out names like these guys, they may never coach again.
Well, here's the thing with Urban Meyer is that, he didn't, I think he still wanted to coach the Jacksonville Jaguars when they fired him.
Yeah.
I think he still wanted to coach Ohio State when they pushed him out the door. So
he's different between those two guys because he has a very checkered past. And
that's the thing. You have to have a university that's 100%. They don't care about the image. They have to be in on winning. And to me,
win, baby.
That describes Texas A&M
or Mississippi State.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't have as much money, but they still have SEC money, and I don't think they care either. So
we were talking if Indiana fires Tom Allen, which I expect to happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, Indiana wouldn't. They're not the type of school to hire Urban Meyer because
they have Big Ten schools. I don't think a Big Ten. They still try to put their nose up in the air and say we're Big Ten. It needs to be an SEC school or like a much smaller school.
I thought if Neil Brown had gotten fired, West Virginia would do it.
They would do it.
You saw it with how lenient they were with Huggins. Look, he said some comments. He doesn't deserve to be fired. You know what I mean? Like, it's 4 DUI.
It's 3 or 4 bad things.
And even with that, even with that, like that was. It seemed like there was like a power struggle. It was like that, So it's got to be a school like that. You know what I mean? Like I could see Miami pulling I could see the Gators. Let's talk about Napier. If he loses this weekend at Missouri and loses the finale to Florida State, they're 5-7. That would put them at he was 6-7 last year. That would have them at 11-14 in 2 years. They might pull that plug.
You know what I'm gonna call right now? I'm gonna say Florida beats Florida State in the Swamp. It saves his job. It ruins Florida State's chance at the playoffs. I just see it happening. Florida State kind of just barely getting by some teams. Go on the road. I mean, that's going to be Florida's Super Bowl. Everybody's going to give it their best shot. So we're getting ahead of ourselves, but still, I'm calling that upset right now.
Yeah, I like it because I don't think Florida State's that good. Let's talk about this. Urban Meyer to A&M. Dan Mullen to Mississippi State.
Why not? Makes a lot of sense.
Chris Peterson, San Diego State and Boise should be calling Chris Peterson nonstop. Both of them. Sure. He's a California guy, right? So San Diego State has that. Boise also has it because he built this thing.
Yeah.
From what I understand, I think he still has a place in Idaho. Yeah. So get on the phone, get on the horn. I know some people said Brian Harsin back to Boise. Not the worst hire. He did decent there.
Yeah.
But either way, got to be fascinating to watch, folks. Which one were you most surprised with out of those 4?
I would say neither. I mean, didn't you see it? I think we saw all 4. I mean, maybe the Texas A&M one just because that buyout was so big, and the fact that they're 8-4 right now.
I was surprised at Boise because I thought, Avalos is a former Bronco himself. Yeah. I thought they would give him the end of the year.
Yeah, but we saw it coming. Maybe the timing wise it was kind of a surprise, but I think we all saw that coming.
Jimbo, I think, was on like thin ice every game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like the last couple of years.
Yeah. So, all right, look, folks. Before we get into picking all those weekday games on that loaded slate, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Vets Merch in honor of Veterans Day. Everything in the merch store is 10% off with the promo code VETS. All proceeds from this sale will be donated to Mission 22, a nonprofit serving those who have served. So support a great cause and score some sweet ass gear. Go to store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Promo code VETS. We're also brought to you by Bet365. It's the most trusted sports book in the world. Bet365 is because they have over 88 million players worldwide. They got props. They got sides. They got totals. They got live betting. Bet365 has you covered with everything. And if you like boosts, you're going to love Bet365, like a 30% profit boost on your NFL same game parlays. Plus, they even have an early payout offer if your team goes up 17 points. Sign up today. Choose from 2 bonus offers, either $1,000 first bet safety net or bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets. Just head to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. Probably when gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Fantasy has a way to play alongside your favorite fantasy players all season long. NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball, college football. Doesn't matter. They got you covered. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite fantasy players, stat projections, and cash in. All right. So watch along, make picks, and maybe make a little extra cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. When you sign up with the promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy. Promo code SGPN. All right, we are back on the college football experience weekday preview and picks episode, and just like that, boom, we got MACtion Tuesday, 4:00 Pacific. The Akron Zips are heading to Ypsilanti to take on the Eastern Michigan Eagles. This is a series that goes back to 1949. Back in 49, Akron went into Ypsilanti and won 20-6.
Oh, was it still Rynearson Stadium?
I think it was. I don't think it was called that, but I think it's the same stadium. The Zips lead this all-time series by 4, but EMU has won 3 straight. EMU still alive to make a bowl game. I kind of think they do, because I'm at a fork in the road here, because I think Chris Creighton just kind of gets his teams to bowl games. And when I look and see Akron and Buffalo left, like, they'll probably go 6-6, end up at some bowl game. But at the same time,
2 winnable games.
I am sweating Akron over 2.5 wins, and we're 1 win away.
What's their last game?
Akron is home to Ohio.
Might want to get this one, Zips.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Ohio isn't unbeatable either. Right? With how bad that offense is playing, it's going to be low scoring. Ohio just has a really good defense too. But still, I think Akron, if they want to get over that, if they want to cash your ticket, they better win this one.
Lorenzo Lingard, the former 5-star running back, is questionable. That's kind of a huge unknown.
Yeah, also DJ Irons, when he got hurt earlier in the year, their quarterback, I think the Zip season was kind of over when that happened. It's not like they were crushing it with them, but
almost beat Indiana, almost beat Buffalo. Yeah,
their offense was multi-dimensional with him due to his dual threat abilities. But under Kuffler, he's not cutting it, man. He's supposed to be the passing quarterback of the two. Below 60% completion percentage last 3 games on the season, just 4 touchdowns to 8 picks. I think it's hard to get on Akron on the road here.
Last year was a 6-point game. I feel like this Eastern Michigan team's not as good. Give me the Zips plus 4.5.
I'm going to go Eastern Michigan. Look, I mean, they may have double the wins of Akron, but they haven't beat anybody good this year. They're not a good team. I mean, so far they have wins over Howard, UMass, Ball State, and Kent State. But I think they stopped their 3-game losing streak at home. I mean, look at both of them. I mean, at least Eastern Michigan has a top half of the conference defense. They do something decently. Akron doesn't do anything good, especially with now maybe the backup running back, backup quarterback. I'm going to go the home team. I'm going to go with the folks from Ypsilanti and lay the points with the Eastern Michigan Eagles.
Chris Creighton. Chris Creighton is going to win close.
I know if it was like -7 or something, if it was more than a touchdown, I'd always go dog. But I'm hoping they can get over 4.5, and they'll probably end up winning by 7.
I don't know. Give me a 31-28 final. Akron wins.
All right.
You hear that? Akron money line play.
On the money line. See, now are you picking with your head or your heart? That's a question.
A little bit.
It certainly isn't out of the realm of possibility. At first, it's the wacky Mac. Second, like I said, neither of these teams are any good, so it's possible.
Yeah. Once again, this goes back to our handicap. What we think Eastern Michigan's got this, so that's why you take Akron. That's why
you know what? I've been doing pretty good handicapping the Mac game so far. Okay, so don't tell me how to pick.
All right, let's jump on over and talk about the next matchup. Northern Illinois is hosting Western Illinois. This is a series that goes back to 1950. Back then, Western beat the shit out of NIU 40-13 in game 1. See, I thought you didn't score back then, huh? Look, 40-13, 53 points. Someone was on the over in DeKalb. This series is pretty tight. Western's got a 6-game lead. Western's won 3 of the last 5, but NIU won 24-21 a season ago. NIU is laying 5.5, and that's just too many. I like this Western team, man.
I like what Lance Taylor's doing. I think he's doing a hell of a job in his first year. Where did he come from? Do you recall?
Lance Taylor where did he come from? He was, I want to say he was like, what was he? I think he played at Bama. Yeah, he played at Bama. He was with Louisville. Louisville's OC last year.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, look, they were
Satterfield guy.
I know that's
they got
questionable.
the wrong guy. No, that's why Satterfield looked all right last year at 8 wins.
There you go.
And,
it was all Lance Taylor.
Cincinnati got the wrong guy. All right.
Well, look, I love that last week, they were up 21-7 at the half, and then the third quarter, Central Michigan, they took the lead, but no, you know what Western Michigan does? They fight back. They find a way to win, and they own the fourth quarter in that game, found a way to cover also. So earlier this season, they were looking good in close losses. Now they've won 2 in a row. They got a lot of momentum. I like the way Hayden Wolf is playing quarterback, the ODU transfer. Jalen Buckley, the running back, now has back-to-back 100-yard games. And Kenneth Womack leads the MAC in receptions. He has 66 catches. The next highest only has 44. So obviously the guy can coach offense because his offense is coming around. And I think it is way too many points in MAC play. Northern Illinois is not more than a field goal better than the Broncos.
I think they're a live dog here, man.
For sure.
And by the way, when you look at Lance Taylor's coaching tree, pretty impressive because Scott Satterfield at Louisville and App State back in 2009, which I think that was Jerry Moore. That was still Jerry Moore. So he was with Jerry Moore, legendary Appalachian State head coach. He was also a GA for Nick Saban in Alabama. He also coached with Brian Kelly at Notre Dame for 3 years and Jim Harbaugh at Stanford.
Wow. So he probably knew Satterfield from App State too. So I didn't know he was an App State guy. Now I really like Lance Taylor. Let's go Western Michigan.
Look, anybody that's played, he played at Alabama. He played also for the Colorado Crush, the Columbus Destroyers, the Green Bay Blizzards, and the Louisville Fire. He's an arena guy. You know what I mean?
The Green Bay Blizzards, they were an arena team?
I guess so.
Yeah. I feel like you can't have the name Blizzard and play indoors.
Yeah, that's true. That's why Arena League sucks. All right. CFL, Grey Cup happening this weekend. Love it. USFL, XFL, whatever. WFL, whatever the fuck. Right? It's all World League was great. But anyway, yeah.
What about that lingerie football league?
they were indoors though.
They do play indoors.
Yeah, bullshit. Yeah. So how about a little directional? Well, no. Because I think Akron's gonna cover. For you, NC Nick, you could do a directional parlay of Western Michigan plus Eastern Michigan.
Potentially even add a third team that plays Wednesday night, which we'll get to. I like that.
Let's go. Well, there's another game happening on Tuesday here, and it happens to be a legendary rivalry. Yes, the Battle of I-75. There's legit animosity in this rivalry. If you do not know, they hate each other. The fan bases hate each other. We had Alex on, who does that Mac podcast. And, Bowling Green fans don't like him because he's a Toledo guy. It's fucking great. I love this. I'm glad that this is on national TV. This is the best of the 3 games because of this rivalry. They also call it the Black Swamp Showdown. But yeah, Battle of I-75.
You got 2 winning teams with winning records playing each other. The other 4 teams that play Tuesday night all have losing records. So there's something.
Well, and they had this. So they used to play. Unfortunately, our stupid society. It used to be called the Peace Pipe Trophy, right? And it was awesome, and they got rid of that in the early 2000s.
I want to go back and find out why it was called the Peace Pipe Trophy. That's got to be a good backstory.
Here we go. So a scaled down replica was fashioned and placed on top of a trophy created by former Toledo football player Frank Kralik. The Peace Pipe Trophy is a miniature replica of an American Indian sacred ceremonial pipe sitting atop a trophy with both football teams' logos. Kralik donated the trophy to the university to be given to the winner. See, and I think he might have been a Native American. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about here. I mean, I don't know if he was for sure, but why would he donate that? Yeah. Anyway, it still sounds great. Who's going to win the Peace Pipe?
Seriously.
All right. They've been playing this since 1919, buddy.
Wow.
1919, over 100 years old. Now, surprisingly, I mean, Toledo has what, 2, 4, 6, 8. They had won 9 in a row from 2010 to 2018. But since then, it's 2-2. Scotty Leffler, he might suck in a lot of realms, but damn it, he knows how to beat Toledo and give them games. They
Bowling
won last
Green
year.
won 42-35 last year, but Dequan Finn, probably the best quarterback in the MAC, did not play in that game.
Fair point. Toledo's laying 10. They lost last year. You know what that means. I'm locking up the Rockets -10. Just they gotta get the peace pipe back. And
I tend to agree, man. I mean, Toledo, they're really rounding into form as the best team in the MAC. Last 2 games, 18-point win over Buffalo, 26-point win over Eastern Michigan. I already mentioned Finn, who's probably the best quarterback in MAC play. Our guy Penny Boone, who we like to roster in DFS, leads the conference in rushing. Top offense in the league and the 3rd best defense in the league. Then factor in the revenge angle too. And look, Toledo is damn near undefeated this season. If it wasn't for a field goal with 5 seconds left on the road at Illinois, they'd be undefeated.
And they were winning that game the entire fucking game. If you watch that game, go watch that game. They were beating Illinois the entire game.
Terry in the chat says Bowling Green's running backs hurt also. Keith and Stewart, the 2 top running backs for Bowling Green, both questionable. I like Toledo here. I think Toledo's playing damn good football right now. Lay the points.
Lay it, folks. All right. Next up, we jump on over to Wednesday. Buffalo, Miami. It's been happening since 1951. Miami's got a knack for fucking them up, though. They have a 7-game lead. Buffalo did win last year, 24-20. The Bulls are catching 9 points at Jaeger-Bomb Stadium. There's a slew of injuries, though. We know running back Lamar Sperling is out for Buffalo. Tight end Jake Orlando, is that you? He's doubtful. Quarterback Brett Gabbert is out for the year for Miami, Ohio, as we well know. And Gage Larvadane is questionable, wide out. I'm buying into Miami's defense. 9 though is a lot. So give me the Bulls +9. Miami wins, let's say 30-24. No, it's too many points. 24-17. What are you doing here?
Well, I mean, the Miami offense without Gabbert has not been the same, but they still have the best defense in the MAC, and they're at home. And with a win, they're guaranteed a spot in the MAC championship game. A bad Buffalo team on the road, I don't think it's something I want to get behind. I mean, even with the injuries, Miami, Ohio was 8-2 ATS on the year, with the only games they didn't cover against Miami, Florida in the opener, and against Toledo, where they were getting 2.5 and lost by 4. So they've had no problem putting away inferior opponents. And I think they do that again here. I mean, last week I was on Ohio laying a touchdown against Buffalo, and it took damn near the whole game, but they won by 10. They covered. I think it's a kind of similar game. I'm going to go Red Hawks.
Wow, going Red Hawks. I think it's a little bit too many. Cole Snyder's pretzel is going to get that. He's going to do enough. It's going to do enough to get it done.
If it gets over 10, I think I back off. But anything less than 10, and I'm still riding with Miami.
No. Okay, next up, let's jump on over to Central Michigan, traveling to Athens, Ohio. These teams have been playing since 1972. And Ohio only has 5 wins against CMU.
Really?
Yeah. Ohio's been a good program over the years, and
they don't play every year since they're in different sides of the MAC, but still they've played enough where that's surprising for sure.
CMU has won 10 of 11, buddy.
Wow. 10
of 11, including in 2021, a 30-27. The past 2 times they've played, they've won 30-27. So when you see this line at 10, this is a lock. Give me Central Michigan +10. I think they're live on the money line, folks. They are live on the money line. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I just mentioned Ohio laying a touchdown last week at Buffalo, and it took for under 2 minutes left where they finally got another touchdown to extend that lead to 20-10 for the cover. It was too much of a sweat. This Ohio offense is broken, and I think laying 10 is too much. Ohio is averaging only 17.25 points per game over the last 4. Even if they have a really good defense, I don't feel comfortable laying that many points. So I'm with you. Let's go Chips here.
Yeah, it's just too many. It's just too many, man. All right. Moving along. So which MAC game are you most excited about?
Well, first off, out of those 5 games, tell me you're on all 5 road teams again. I think so. Right?
Worked out for me last week.
Hey, you went forward too. Not too bad.
Let's go.
The game I'm looking most forward to, I think you're right. I think it's that Toledo Bowling Green game. I just, I don't want it to be a close game because I'm laying the points, but I think that's the best one.
Yeah. Second would be Central Michigan, Ohio, I think.
Agreed, especially since I kind of root for the Bobcats, except for in this game because I'll be on Central Michigan. But again, that's 2 teams with at least, Central Michigan's 5-5, so at least you got a 500 team.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
There you go.
Thursday. Well, actually, wait. Before we get to Thursday, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Game Time. Buying tickets to your favorite event, they shouldn't be that stressful. All right, Game Time's the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater that is near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll be having at that very event. So, what are you doing? And first off, they have the Game Time guarantee, which means you'll always get the best price. In fact, if you find tickets in the same section or row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. All right, so what are you doing, folks? Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account. Use that promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, terms apply. Create that account. Redeeming code CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Look, stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching. Start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. Boom. We are back on the college football experience, and hey, Thursday. We got what? An old
this is a shitty standalone game. Let me tell you.
Let me tell you, this is one where the FCS is probably better than the FBS here. But
I'm on college football.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're playing this at Heinz and not Pitt's old stadium because that was an awesome stadium. But this series is they used to play in the Big East for a long time. All right, this series goes back to 1959. Pitt has a 2-game lead, but get this, BC has won the last 2. Surprisingly, they've been ass. Pitt's like been winning ACC or playing ACC championships, and yet BC has won. They beat Kenny Pickett the year they won the ACC.
Is it that surprising? Pitt also lost to Western Michigan that year, so this is typical Narduzzi at Pitt. I mean, you can always drop a game to a shittier team.
So Pitt's laying 2.5. No fucking way. I wonder if Narduzzi's on his last days. I know
he may be coming close. I mean, he's won a shit ton of games in the last 4 or 5 years, but not this year.
Yeah, I'll take BC plus the 2.5. I think BC got their ass whooped by the Hokies, and I think they want to bounce back. I think they're just a better football team right now. So I know Robichal is questionable. They're running back. Same with Ryan O'Keefe, the former UCF wideout. But they're just better. And that acupuncture stadium, that shit's like half empty, especially on a Thursday night. No one's gonna fucking care about a 2-win Pitt team on a Thursday night. What are you doing here?
No, I completely agree. I mean, Pitt's lost 4 in a row. They're 2-8 with absolutely nothing to play for. At quarterback, I guess Phil Jurkovic might not have been the answer. You know what? Neither's Christian Velux, or however you pronounce his name. He's not playing very well. Yeah. BC already has road wins this year at Georgia Tech, at Syracuse. I think they get another at Pitt here. Not sure why Pitt's favored.
Mm.
Does it stink? Does the line stink here? I mean, you got a 2-18.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit there.
I don't know. If I bet this, it's not going to be a bunch of money.
Well, it's a good thing on Thursday. We have the River Bell Classic. Yes, folks, I don't have a line on it right now, but it needs to be talked about because FCS football, the heartbeat of college football, 4:00 Pacific. We get Nicholls State heading to Southeast Louisiana, SELA. And by the way, don't look now, but Nicholls 5-4, first place in the Southland. You know, they're battling for an FCS playoff spot. What could go wrong as they head to SELA at Strawberry Stadium there? Love this stadium, Strawberry Fields, forever. And look, SELA's been like an FCS playoff team the past few years. So they're taking a step back, but one thing they would love to do is fuck over their rivals in a chance for them to go to the FCS playoffs. This is why this shit's awesome. Late November games, rivalry games. This is why West Virginia, the backyard brawl should be in November and not September. You know, how many people remember when Rich Rodriguez was about to play for the national championship and Dave Wanstead and LaShawn McCoy said, nope, we're a 3-win team, but we just fucked over your whole season. You mentioned it earlier, Florida State this year.
Yeah.
That is why you play the rivalry games in November, folks.
All right. I like everything except for Strawberry Fields Forever. Cause you know, even though I like some Beatles, not as much as you, that song annoys me. I hate that song. What
I thought you loved strawberries, man. Wasn't that like a top fruit? If you had to do the top 10 fruits.
I like strawberries. People screw up strawberries though. People put they make it all syrupy. They put sugar on it. You don't need any of that. Just wash.
I will say no. I'll say a chocolate covered strawberry. Fire.
I just like my strawberries plain, and I don't like that damn song.
And you don't like this damn stadium, Strawberry Stadium. So that means you're taking Nicholls to come in there and continue on their journey.
Let's go, Nicholls.
Yeah, they've been playing this game forever since the early 70s. It's the River Bell Classic. They're coming out of there with that River Bell trophy. All right, I'm with you. Nicholls Colonels get it done. They've been the better team, but this is a better game than Boston College Pitt, folks.
That's not saying much. I mean, who's excited to watch Boston College Pitt?
There's another game on Thursday on, I believe, ESPNU, and this one is a SWAC game that goes way back. This is at Lewis Cruz Stadium. And see, Nick, do you approve that stadium name?
I'm okay with that. Would be cool if it's Terry Crews Stadium, but you know.
So Mississippi Valley State's 1-9, right? Delta Devils have had their struggles. Alabama A&M, a little disappointing. John Stallworth's alma mater, a little disappointing. 4-6. And last season, Mississippi Valley State was ass, and they upset Alabama A&M 30-20.
Akil Glass was gone, right?
Yeah, he was in the USFL. Yeah. Can Alabama A&M get revenge for that? We don't have a line because it's early Monday morning, but we will. This is a series that goes way, way, way back, folks. Back to 1971. I mean, I think Alabama A&M. I'm going to lay that number because Mississippi Valley State's on the road. They won this. They upset them last year at home, but
revenge
the Delta
spot. Yeah.
The Devils are doomed. Get on over there, folks. And look, if you follow our picks page, we'll have these lines up. And, you know, unfortunately with us doing Monday morning, we did not have the lines. Jumping over to Friday's action. We got 2 games on Friday.
Decent games here. Better than Thursday, at least.
Yeah, we get the first ever matchup between South Florida and UTSA, the Roadrunners, on ESPN2. Now, Jerry Bohannon, we know the former Baylor quarterback, is out. He wasn't. I mean, he's been out for a little bit. Michael Brown-Stevens, questionable wide receiver for South Florida. Kavorian Barnes, Dr. Kavorian Barnes, running back for UTSA, is questionable. And Willie McCoy, a wide receiver for UTSA, questionable as well. This is at that filthy Alamo Dome. The house that Uwe Blab built, but what do you? They're laying 16 points. Give me the points in the Bulls. I think their little cha-cha-cha offense is meant for a filthy little dome. I'll take the 16, but UTSA is going to win this game. What are you doing here?
Yeah. So the thing that scares me is that South Florida has the 132nd passing defense in the nation. That is second to last, giving up over 303 yards per game. In the last 5 games, they've given up 59 to Memphis, 56 to FAU, 56 to UAB. I'm going to lay the points. I mean, South Florida's got a pretty good offense. I'll be able to keep pace with them for a little bit, but second half, UTSA cruises past them and covers here. Last 3 home games since Frank Harris has returned, they've beaten Rice by 20, ECU by 14, UAB by 21. So it's kind of right around there, but I like UTSA by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, we're gonna disagree. I like this disagreement stuff here. Final game, Fox Sports 1, prime time. Colorado Buffaloes are heading to Martin Stadium, beautiful Martin Stadium, to take on the Washington State Cougars in a series that only goes back to 1981 because remember they were in different conferences. Colorado has lost 3 straight to Wazoo. Now that was all Mike Leach and his doings. So Colorado hasn't won since 2016. Alton McCaskill announced he was redshirting for the rest of the season. That's Colorado's potential starting running back. Also, Charlie Offerdahl is doubtful. Anytime you mention an Offerdahl, you got to mention an Offerdahl if he's on the report. Shout out to John Offerdahl. Wazoo's laying 5. What the hell's happening with Wazoo? See, Colorado.
Great question.
Colorado probably should have beat Arizona. They were either leading or tied the entire game until about 5 seconds left. I'm going to take the Buffs on the money line to win because something ain't smelling right in Pullman right now.
6 losses in a row. I mean, they beat Oregon State at home in a big upset, and then they lose their next 6.
And I mean, if either of these teams want to go bowling, they got to win this game. So Washington State obviously would have the Apple Cup. If they win this, they could win the Apple Cup. Colorado would have to go to Rice Eccles. So Wazoo's probably in the better spot, even though Washington's a top 5 team. I don't know. I think both are probably not going to go bowling.
Usually you don't fade Wazoo in Pullman, but like 2 weeks ago, they lost 10-7 to Stanford at home. You know,
and I also believe the style of ball they play caters to the way Colorado wants someone to play. They don't get really physical along the line of scrimmage and run between the tackles and stuff. They're throwing the ball all around against pretty good corners. So
I feel like the Buffs have played tougher competition of late. I mean, the last 3 games, Arizona, Oregon State, UCLA, and all 3 of them, Colorado was in those games. So I'm on the Buffs.
Buffs money line play. All right, that's our weekday show. Now let's do a little lock, dog, tease to get before we get out of here. NC Nick, who's your lock out of all those weekday games?
The lock out of all these weekday games.
I bet you it's the same as mine.
Wait, you thinking Toledo?
I'm thinking Central Michigan.
I'm not going to go against my boys. I'm on Central Michigan, but that's not going to be my lock of the week. I like either Toledo or Western Michigan as my lock.
Well, you got to step up and lock one. That's how we do it.
Let me let me go Western Michigan here. Give me the dog.
Yeah, because the Toledo Bowling Green game is still a rivalry, even though I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah,
rivalry game sometimes, you know.
Agreed.
My lock is Central Michigan +10. Sprinkle that money line. I want to give this away as a possible parlay you should do. Central Michigan money line with the Colorado Buffaloes money line. I think it's a pretty good parlay.
I like the directional Michigan parlay. Didn't you guys just do that in basketball a couple days ago?
We did. And
did it work out?
Central Michigan burned us because but Western and Eastern hit. No, I'm sorry. Central. No, it was a 2-team parlay between.
Okay.
So Central burned us.
Okay.
Eastern hit, Central burned us. Right. So I'm going back to the team that burned me, but on the football side of things, so that's my dog. That's my parlay. That's my lock.
My dog will just be the chips. Yeah. So my lock will be Western Michigan. My dog will be Central Michigan because I want to give you a decent sized dog. Not the little yappers like Jason's talking about in the chat here. So, all right. So then, teaser.
Yeah. By the way, for my yapper, give me Western Michigan. I'll give you a little yapper out there. Tuesday night dog. Western Michigan beats Northern Illinois. The tease. Let's bring Colorado to 11. You like that?
That makes a lot of sense.
Well, let's bring. I mean, I feel like bringing the chips, but I don't want all my eggs in one basket.
Right.
How about Toledo down to 4?
Yeah, bringing Toledo down and Miami of Ohio down sounds tempting. I mean, they're obviously the two best teams in the MAC. Let's do that. Let's
Toledo down to 4, Miami, Ohio down to 3. You could also no. I'm not touching that Boston College Pitt game. I'm not touching that BC. I was thinking about that. I was like, you can get Boston College over a touchdown.
That's tempting,
but I don't know. You never know. Pitt's a weird team. Yeah.
Right.
All right, folks. That's our play. All right.
Boom. Let's do it. Let's have us a week.
This is the college football experience.
Go Duke tomorrow.
Yeah, if you're in the Chicago area, NC Nick will be there with his wife. So
I probably won't reach out to you.
Yeah, it's true. You see him, he might ignore you and say, "No, I'm not NC Nick. What are you talking about? Who's NC Nick?
Never heard of him."
Yeah. If you're there at the game, though, let us know, folks, because come on, tweet that out. You know what I mean? Also, I think Noah Beanick is going to be at a Duquesne game on Tuesday, or no, Wednesday. He's going to check out the Dukes of Duquesne, who are red hot. Folks, we're here doing the college basketball experience every single day. College football experience is practically every single day. I think Sundays is the only day we don't release an episode. So subscribe to both the college football experience, the college basketball experience. Don't forget the FCS college football experiences. That season is this is once again the benefit of having a gigantic playoff. You look at the slate in the FCS, you're like, oh man, there's so many huge games with playoff implications. We touched on one on Thursday night. If Nicholls was to lose at Strawberry Stadium, Strawberry Fields there, then that would be incarnate word. Lamar would be sitting there saying yes. All right, so subscribe to the FCS college football experience because things are just getting spicy over there. Also, the college baseball experience with Noah Beanick, myself, goes into full swing in February. And don't forget about the Big 12 experience. It's the Big 12. All right. Check out that. Check out all those. Give NC Nick a follow on Twitter at NC__NICK. Remember, we invite you to come play DFS with us. I'm on Twitter at DColbyD. The college football experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. And so follow away there. Once again, you can watch this on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience, the hub for all of our college experience shows. Check that out. Also check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. We'll be back talking college basketball in about an hour, college football later tonight. And they're live from Las Vegas every Friday night on VSiN. If you have VSiN, folks, I'm sorry. If you have YouTube TV, you have VSiN, VSIN, Brett Musburger's network. Check it out every Friday night, 9:00 Pacific, midnight Eastern. Sports Gambling Podcast live from Las Vegas. Get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. And come talk ball with us in the Discord. Maybe you got to play in the Riverbell Classic. Maybe you think Central Michigan is going to get destroyed. Well, come tell us in the Discord. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Discord. Until next time, folks, this is the college football experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. We can really run and shoot, and